You know, it's kind of funny, because do you remember the history between DeMuslim and NASL and that Season 1 kind of scandal back then? Do you remember it?
Why don't you bring us up to speed?
Okay. Well, when NASL was announced, that was pretty much the time that DeMuslim broke his elbow and his knuckles. And then he started playing a lot again already, and like when he made the... how did you say that? Like, you had to submit a video? So like he posted a video and he said like, all right guys, this is DeMuslim, I would love to play in the NASL. And like me and Ben, we made this little video where he stood in front of the hospital. He still had his arm in a cast, but the league would start 3 or 4 weeks after that. So he thought he would be fine, he would be in shape, he would be ready in time. But NASL thought differently, and actually DeMuslim did not make it into the NASL Season 1. Anyways, we can just go in-game. I think both players are ready, and I'll just continue my story. But yeah, DeMuslim did not make it into the NASL Season 1, and he was very displeased with that. He wasn't happy. He said, like, I think it's nonsense. I would have been ready in time. And I was kind of making a point for him back then as well, because I thought he would be ready in time as well, since he was already starting to post results. And by the time that NASL actually started, DeMuslim was more than ready. Like, he was already beating really good players again. He didn't make it. Then Season 2, he did make it into the NASL.
And he broke his arm again.
And man, he had a really... No, he didn't break his arm, but he just had a really good season.
Did he break his arm twice?
Yeah, but that was like in the same moment.
Okay, okay.
And then Season 2, DeMuslim did finally join the NASL, and he had a fantastic ride. He made it to the offline finals, where he unfortunately lost against...
I forgot. Who did he lose to?
How could you not know that, man?
I was going to say Thorzane, but that's not right.
No, that's right.
It is right?
Yeah.
Oh. I didn't forget. Got to be more confident. I knew it.
No, he did lose against Thorzane, and Thorzane then had a really good ride and ended up as top 4. So DeMuslim had a very good Season 2 despite not being part of Season 1. And so far in Season 3, Ben, this oh so handsome fellow Teal Terran from the UK, currently living in Arizona, DeMuslim, has had a really good run in Season 3 as well, being 2-0.
He's been playing very, very well. He's got a big mountain though in Ryung, that red Terran player spawning up in the top right, Korean TVT. Slayer's Ryung, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so that makes it even more daunting.
Yeah, you missed the pregame chat, right?
No, I didn't. Oh, I saw something about MMA's jacket.
Yeah. DeMuslim is like, Ryung, I want your jacket. And Ryung is like, no! And DeMuslim is like, oh, come on, I give you money. How much you want for the jacket? And then Ryung said, $100,000 million or something like that. And then DeMuslim said, for MMA jacket, okay. For you jacket, not okay. And then both players started laughing. It was kind of fun.
Of course, guys, MMA's jacket has been imbued with the powers of Boxer. When he wears it, he never loses. Intel Extreme Masters Global Challenge in Kiev. MMA lost the game, then he put on the jacket and won like 30 games in a row. It was sick.
It is actually very sick, and that jacket is so stylish, man. I'm so jealous. Anyways, we see a refinery opening on either side. Factories going down for both players. And I saw actually a really, really amazing TVT yesterday of DeMuslim against one of those guys who's currently living with us, Ben. I would say one of the better players, one of the better Terran players in Europe at least, now living with us. And they had a sick game which turned into a base trade where DeMuslim stayed on one base for a very long time. He tried to win the game with a big one base push, a lot of Marines, a couple of tanks, a couple of Banshees. And it worked for a while, but then it turned into a sick base trade, and they just basically switched spawning positions and started the game all over again. Then DeMuslim added some Hellions in as well. But the main point is that he stayed on one base for a long time, and that surprises me because DeMuslim that I know isn't that fond of one base in TVT. He used to expand a lot. He's always been of a bio expand player in most of the matchups, but certainly in TVT as well. So I was a little bit surprised to see that.
Am I wrong in saying that DeMuslim seems to have a diverse style? I really feel like every time I see him play, he's doing something new. In all of his matchups, like, you know, one day he's meching, the next he's playing bio, the next he's doing something, you know, some weird combination of the two.
I don't think you're very wrong at that at all. I live with DeMuslim for more than a year, so I've seen a ton of his private practice, which was really awesome for me as a broadcaster because I play Protoss myself on a pretty decent level, but my Terran isn't just there yet. So it's awesome to live with a really good Terran player and just watch his practice and try to see what's going on in his mind. Meanwhile, DeMuslim is going to try to pick up this high ground, but you're right. I was always amazed by the fact how DeMuslim would just talk with me about the strategies, like, yeah man, I just don't feel that comfortable anymore, maybe I should do this and this. I was like, yeah, that sounds good. And then he would just do it straight away against one of the best players in Europe who's on a pro team, and he would just pull it off straight away. I was always amazed by his execution. I'm a little DeMuslim fanboy, I'm not afraid to hide it.
He's a great player, especially recently. I think he's reached new heights in his gameplay. If anything, if there's any flaw that I see in DeMuslim's play, it's mentally. Sometimes he allows himself to become satisfied. It's like, okay, I got this far, it's all right. Look at this, DeMuslim being a little bit cheeky, adding 2 more racks in his main base. We're going to see a 1 base all in.
Yeah, I think so too. Now we just see that command center going down for Ryung. Ryung is going to spot this bench over here from DeMuslim, though. DeMuslim could get a couple of shots off on those Hellions, but he decided not to do it. I think this is a little bit risky. DeMuslim doesn't really have that many units in his base, and he still sent the Banshee to Ryung's base. Ben, I think this is going to be really hard for DeMuslim.
Well, he is getting a Viking, and it's no, he's not. He's getting a Raven. It's Ryung who's building the Viking. These Marines going to die very, very quickly, and you're absolutely right. DeMuslim's in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, he barely has any units in his main base. He's going to have to wait until the Raven halfway done. And these Marines, they won't be able to do much. DeMuslim just goes GG. Wow.
I'm not sure what to make of that, Kev.
DeMuslim, who so far didn't lose a single best 3 yet in this NASL season.
He's only dropped a single map all season.
I cannot imagine that he didn't see those Hellions. They were parked right below that Banshee. I mean, this was a critical timing, though, for Ryung to hit. And very unfortunate. It's one of those things that in mirrors you often want to cut a few corners.
Yeah.
So DeMuslim just added those 2 additional Rexes already, rather than pumping out a few units early on, and then trying to get more Rexes, and sending the Banshee straight away to the other side. But Ryung hitting that timing with 3-4 Hellions, a couple of Marines, and that single Banshee. And yeah, he hit DeMuslim when he had 3 Marines on his high ground.
You're exactly right. I kind of, if the Banshee had stayed home, though, I think he defends that fairly easily.
It's not going to be that easy because it's still 4
or 5 Marines.
Yeah, but I do agree with you. He's going to hold. Even though it would have been much better if he went Banshee Viking Raven instead of Banshee Raven and then Viking.
And then Banshee Raven GG. We can see it happening right here as the Marines, the Hellions just push right up. And there's just nothing there.
No.
You can see on the mini-map where DeMuslim's Banshee's poking back into Ryung's main base, but it doesn't matter. He's got nothing in his main, and he's forced to tap out.
And it's not even just those Marines and that Banshee, it's those Hellions which were the biggest problem, because DeMuslim could probably pull a lot of units and then wait for Marines to spawn to pick off those Banshees and deal with those few Marines. But yeah, 3-4 Hellions is not something you kill with SCV only when you have no DPS.
Yeah. We made a terrible mistake, Kev.
We did?
We didn't share our predictions with everybody.
Ooh, that's pretty bad. But they are on record. They are on the record.
We do our predictions before the broadcast every day. We give them to our graphics guys so they can prepare our panels. I promise you guys that I chose Ryung before that first game.
That's a lie.
But I'm feeling a lot more confident in my choice now.
And that is correct. You predicted Ryung. I went for DeMuslim. I can't really cheer against my fellow. But yeah. No, you're right. Very unfortunate timing for DeMuslim. I'm not sure what we are waiting for.
Yep. Okay. Well, we've got to play a really short commercial, guys. That first game brought to you by Kingston HyperX. Don't go anywhere. 30 seconds, and we'll be back with game number 2.